Sign up for this year's Marion County Heart Walk and be part of a local movement that's helping others live longer, healthier lives. Join me, Corey Poole, your 2014 Marion County Heart Walk Chairman, and walk with me on Saturday, October the 4th at the Baseline Road Trailhead. It's a free event promoting physical activity and heart-healthy living. To find out how you can help fight the #1 killer of all Americans, visit us online at marionheartwalk.org.
All right, 20 minutes after 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Anytime you ever move into a new town, then you're looking for a new mechanic and a new barber and a new everything, right? And as soon as you find one, there might be you might get a flyer in the mail for another dentist or another mechanic. You say, oh man, I'm kind of happy with mine, but this guy's offering this. And it's kind of like, and our next guest compares a stock current stock market portfolios with getting married. There's always somebody else trying to seduce you into
That's right.
So I never thought of it that way before. But I because with stocks you don't have to. I mean, you don't change stocks when you change towns like you do mechanics, right?
Or
and
wives.
Wives, Well, sometimes we do.
Husbands.
Wade Slom is our guest. He is the media go-to resource for CNBC, ABC, The Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg. It goes on and on. Dow Jones, Investors Business Daily. In other words, he knows his stuff. He has written a book. It's called How I Managed 20. Is it billion? How many zeros is that? $20 billion by the age of 32. What investors can learn from the newlywed grooms. Mm-hmm. Good morning, Wade. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good morning to you.
$32 billion. Oh, $20 billion.
Give or
Sorry,
take.
32 is the age. You were 32. How old are you now?
I am 44 years old, wise.
Yeah? How much of that $20 billion did you get to keep?
I wish I could have kept a few of those zeros onto my annual salary, but we're building Rome right now. We're working in that direction.
And you've been doing it long enough that you've seen the change in how media has affected how we buy stocks. Is it that big of a deal?
Oh yeah, I mean it's incredible how much things have changed. I mean we've really moved into this 24/7 news cycle. Facebook, Twitter. You can't escape it. Everyone's got their electronic device leash that never leaves them. So it's really amazing how things have changed.
So typically people don't have your skills. Typically people work a job. They go to a meeting once a month or so where some guy with your skills comes in and tries to talk about the new program or the new investment program. And you pretty much get into it and then say, I'm happy with it. I don't want to change anything. Because you know why? Because we don't know what we're doing. We sort of depend on you guys.
That's exactly right. I mean, there are the DIYers out there, the do-it-yourselfers, and you really do need the time, patience, interest, and emotional discipline to do it yourself. And there is a small minority of people that can do that. But most professionals, they're just like you and me and everyone else. They're focused on providing for their families and doing what they do best. And so it's best, just like your CPA or estate planning attorney, to outsource some of those investing responsibilities.
And the risk takers, sometimes it's really good to be one. When Disney World was when the land was being purchased here in Florida in the late 60s, and then Disney World was
See how old Robin is?
I know, I'm old.
Remembers this.
But and at that time there were stock offerings like $9 a share for Disney World, and people really weren't sure what it was going to be. So a lot of people didn't take it, but the few people that did purchase the stocks were really happy they did.
Yeah, no. The stock market is a tricky game. It's a roller coaster, lots of ups and downs, and we've seen that in spades over the last 5 years. But from a diversified portfolio standpoint, yeah, it's important to have exposure to all these areas, including the Disneys of the world. You're not always going to hit the home run. You're going to have some strikeouts. But if you have a broad, diversified portfolio, you'll get exposure to great equities like Disney.
So just comparing it to other things, as I did in the beginning, when I need my car repaired, I'm not a do-it-yourselfer, so I go to an expert and go on and on with all those examples. And I've often thought the same thing about what you do. If I have a stockbroker and I'm happy with him or her, I stay with them. Is that what we're talking about here, or is it the stocks themselves that we're talking about?
Well, it's a combination of both, but it's true. Investing has never been more difficult than it is today. I mean, you have thousands of funds, and you're talking about a global marketplace. But when you're talking about investing, it really does boil down to trust, and it really behooves you and your listeners to ask the tough questions because unfortunately, the investment industry is a very aggressive, sales-driven industry. And, some of the times you listen to some of these investment advisors and you feel like you're going through a timeshare offering and you feel like taking a shower afterwards. So it's important to ask how your advisor is compensated and to really understand what they're doing and what you're paying for.
Sometimes when people win the lottery, we hear these stories that all of a sudden all their money is gone. How do those people make the wise choice of really sitting down with a couple of financial planners and really trying to make that money work for them instead of thinking they're going to have that money always and then it all disappears?
Yeah, well, I think it's really important to one, get references. I mean, if you're getting a mechanic, like Larry mentioned, you find out who's used them. How's the service been? And secondarily, anyone can go online. You've probably heard of the SEC. They're the Securities and Exchange Commission, kind of the industry's police force. And you can go online and you can check out the advisor. Do they have a history of complaints? How long have they been in business? Are they even online? That's important to make sure that they have a presence and transparency is shown.
The one devastating story several stories, but the similarity is the loyalty stock. When you work for a company, you say, I'm going to buy stock in this company. And that was the problem with a lot of those Enron
Yes.
employees too. They had bought. They said, "This is good. I'm just going to invest in this company because I believe in it." So they're loyal to it. Mm-hmm. And would a stockbroker have warned them about that even before anybody saw any red flags?
Getting back to the importance of diversification. I mean, it is a cliche, but you can really think of diversification as a shock absorbers because it really has been a roller coaster. There's been lots of potholes and bumps and bruises over the last 10, 20 years, and so yes, you can't have all your eggs in one basket, have all your net worth in the company that you're working for, and if things go south, you really want exposure to stocks and bonds, emerging markets, commodities, real estate, and the list goes on. So that way, when you do hit those turbulence and air pockets, that you can kind of ride through those tough periods.
The book is called How I Managed $20 Billion by the Age of 32. It's written by our guest, Wade Sloan. Does the book help us? I mean, we look at your amazing career. Do we use that information on a small scale? How do we use the book?
Sure, yeah. I actually do have a chapter on how to select an investment advisor. And I do talk about the importance of low-cost, tax-efficient, long-term investing. I mean, you brought up earlier about the 24/7 Facebook, Twitter world we're in. It's really important for you to take a deep breath and get a longer-term perspective on what your long-term investment plan is. So I do touch upon those points in addition to kind of getting a bird's-eye view in what it is to manage, one of the 10 largest funds in the U.S., and it was quite a ride, so you get that perspective as well. And
you have to be willing to think globally and not just locally.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, people don't realize that the U.S. here, we're only 5% of the global population, and we're about 20% of the overall global economy. So we do manage a large part of the global economy, but there is another 95% of the population and 80% of the global economy, and it's just going to become increasingly important to people's investment portfolios going forward.
Wade Sloan, thank you for being on with us. We've got about 30 seconds. Do you have a website we can go to or give us information on how to buy the book?
Sure. Yeah, I think the best place to go is to my website, Sidoxia. That's SID as in David, OXIA.com. And there you can find my Investing Caffeine blog, you can find my book, and anything else you're interested in.
All right, excellent. Great short interview, but with lots of good information. The best thing we can advise you to do is get the book. That way you'll know a lot more than a little radio interview can provide. Wade Slum, thank you so much for being on with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Hey Adam, those burgers gonna be done before summer's over?
Maybe. Why? You got big plans for the summer?
Not really. Just the usual, kids hanging around the house. How about you?
Actually, I'm having Joshua get his pilot's license this summer.
What? Is he old enough? Can you really do that in just the summer?
Yeah, you can get your pilot's license at 17, and the summer is plenty of time. Plus, this could be the start to his career as an airline pilot.
That is a great idea. I bet Tyler would love that. Actually, I would too.
You guys should do it.
I don't have time for that. Some of us have to work for a living, you know?
Not you, no. Seriously, they work around your schedule.
Really? That's cool. Where are you going?
Ocala Aviation, at the airport off 60th.
How'd you hear about it?
I heard about it on the radio, then I stopped in. I've got a card if you want the number.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get my phone.
Hurry up, the burgers are burning.
Okay, I'm ready. Go ahead.
861-7484.
Hold on, I missed a number.
Ah, such a slacker. Here it is again. 861-7484.
Excellent. I'm gonna call them now.
How about we eat before you start your new adventure?
That's probably a good idea.
You think?
Legally Yours, brought to you by Fuller & Fuller Attorneys at Law. On the air every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. with John Fuller, a board-certified civil trial lawyer for over 25 years. John welcomes your questions, from business to complex family matters to legal disputes. So tune in